rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events. This is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. I am your host, Rick. Well, if you hear a little sound in the mic in the background, the reason being is it's hot. Oh, my God, it's like almost 80 degrees here. We're about ready to die, or at least I am. I don't do well in heat. I really don't. There's a reason why I live in the Pacific Northwest. For all its faults, in terms of all the liberal leftist lunatics that live up here, for all of its taxes and everything else, the environment is there. So, I mean, yeah. Anyway, I know, Bonnie. All you folks in the South, you give me crap about my iced tea. You give me crap about the heat. You give me crap about all this stuff. You call me a Yankee and all that other stuff. Yeah, okay. I get it. Anyway. Yeah, I'm starting to get the... You know, what's funny is my friend, I've had him on before, Steven Stiles, he lives over in Idaho, in the Boise area, and he was telling me that about a week and a half ago, they got up to like 108. Yeah. And today they're at like 98 or something like that. So, yeah. Anyway. All right. There is so much to talk about. Yeah, here we go again. All right. There is so much to talk about. I've got so much stuff. It's scattered all over the place here in the studio. And so I'm just going to go with it, and we're just going to see where the show leads, because holy crap, there is just so much stuff going on. I can't even imagine, you know. Unfortunately, LA has turned into a battle zone. Well, I mean, no more so than it did during the Rodney King riots, than it did during the BLM riots, you know, so on and so forth. So, anyway, so all right. Let me go ahead and get things kicked off. Tonight is, of course, Buddy Weiser is up tonight for the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you are of mine, please stand, remove your hat if you're wearing one, like me, and place your hand over your heart and follow along with Buddy as he recites the Pledge of Allegiance.
I hereby pledge my allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which she stands, one nation under one God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all her citizens. So help me God.
All right. And, you know, thank you, Buddy, as always, for your contribution. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself reciting the pledge or performing the pledge in your style, and take that video file, audio file, whatever kind of file, add it to an email address or attach it to an email, attach it to an email, and then add my address, fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. All right. Tonight's sponsor for tonight is me. Yes, I am wearing another version of the American Perspective logo on my t-shirt. You can get it and others at store.americanperspective.online. That's store, S-T-O-R-E, at americanperspective.online. And you can go and peruse all of the wonderful styles and colors and things that I have. I've got 3 different logos there. They come in different styles because, of course, as the logo, you know, some of the colors would wash out depending upon the color of the shirt or sweatshirt or whatever that it's on. There's also connections to go and get yourself the Constitution of the United States, which I think a lot of people need to read today, and understand it, and those kinds of things. And so, yeah, head on over to store.americanperspective.online and check it out and see if there's something you can pick up. If you don't want a shirt or a sweatshirt, there's also well, thanks, Fat Paws. There's also there's a coffee cup and mug. There is, like I said, connections to the Institute on the Constitution. You can go and check that out. There's also connection to the old Whiskey Musing store. So there's still Whiskey Musing stuff that you can go and grab if you are of mind to go ahead and do that. But anyway, head off to store.americanperspective.online and peruse everything that I have available. And I would appreciate that. If you did happen to pick something up, that would be great. I try to keep the prices as low as I can. I don't take a lot from, over the cost. So yeah, you just need to, go and check it out and see see if there's something that you'd like and pick it up. I appreciate it and thank you. All right. Okay. So first of all, wow. So here's the relative course of events that occurred. So the ICE did a bunch of raids. We talked about this on Saturday. Last time we got together, ICE started doing a bunch of raids. It's not as this is any surprise. I mean, they pretty much told you this was going to happen. So they went and they did a bunch of raids. They picked a bunch of people up, and apparently they did a series of raids in Los Angeles. Well, that makes sense, considering that California is a sanctuary state. Both Karen Bass and frickin' Gavin Newsom have all been talking about the entire, hey, this is a sanctuary state. We got more illegals than anybody else. And I mean, they advertised it as though it were a badge of honor for all of these people. Gavin Newsom is like, yeah, I'm going to give illegals, Medicare, Medicaid, health care. I'm going to give it all to them, even though his budget is, 20 million, going to be 20 million in the hole, and that they're already running a shortfall, that, 30% of their budget, 35% budget it comes from the federal government, which Trump basically said, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're going to take that. Trump's already said we're looking at taking that away from you. So basically, this entire situation has set up this standoff, let's just say. And so ICE goes in, does their thing. They are literally enforcing immigration law as it stands here. As it stands, what's on the books today is literally what they are enforcing. Granted, the enforcement of immigration law has been, lackluster at best for the last, well, I mean, other than the previous Trump administration, the enforcement of immigration law has been lackluster at best. Even when they sit there and people tell you, oh, yeah, Obama, he deported 3 million aliens or whatever the number actually is. Well, here's the thing, okay? Yeah, he did. And the other complaint that the left keeps saying, he didn't need to use Gestapo tactics. Well, no, because his governors were Democrats and they were all on board. They were all on board for it. In fact, he went and he did so many things, and who knows what he might have done, because the mainstream media didn't bother reporting it, because that was their sycophantic leader. They loved licking Obama's boots. They still do today. Okay. And so, no, we didn't have the same situation back then because of the fact that you sycophantic morons were just like, hey, yeah, this is a good idea. We're going to go ahead and get rid of all these illegal aliens. We're going to deport 3 million of them. And in fact, by the way, there was a statistic, and I don't have it right at my hands and fingers, but there was a statistic that basically said only 25% of those people that Obama deported actually had their quote-unquote due process. 75% of them got deported without even seeing an immigration judge. So yes, you jackasses, and yes, I'm talking about the left, you jackasses. Okay? Obama did do that. He enforced the law, sort of. Now, fast forward to today. Okay? And we have a situation where where these illegals and the sycophantic idiots that are out there. So ICE goes in, tries to enforce the law. They're not getting any support from anything in California, whether it's LA or whatever. Mayor Bass actually put out a statement saying she's not going to freaking, support this, that she doesn't support ICE. What part of her job description is to support law and order? I don't understand how these morons can sit here and get away with this idea that, hey, Democrats are the party of law and order. It's written in the freaking laws, folks, that they can do this. And she's also putting out statements like, oh, just remember, if you're stopped by ICE, here's your rights. Yeah, here's your rights. Okay, let's talk about that. Let me see if I can find it here, because I had it. Oh, yeah, here. Let's talk about that. So, Title 8, U.S. Code 1357. Don't believe me? Oops, wrong one. Hang on. Sorry. I used that to record my there it is. Oh, shoot. What the heck? Hang on. Back. Try it again. There we go. Now we got it. All right. Yeah, my computer's got some weird stuff going on. So, yeah. Anyway. All right. So here it is. 8 U.S. Code 1357, powers of immigration officers and employees. Here. Powers without warrant. Hello? They don't need a warrant. Says any officer or employee of the service authorized under regulations prescribed by the Attorney General shall have power without warrant. They have the power to interrogate any alien or person believed to be an alien. And again, remember, as I told you, alien means anyone who is not a citizen of the United States. Period. End of story. So, that's the legal definition. They have the power without warrant to arrest any alien who is in his presence or view, entering or attempting to enter the United States, is in violation of any law or any regulation made in pursuance of law regulating the admission, exclusion, expulsion, removal of aliens, and to arrest any alien in the United States. Oh, wait a minute. I see. Look, that's a statement right there. And even so, if he has reason to believe that the alien so arrested is in the United States in violation of any such law or regulation and is likely to escape before a warrant can be obtained for his arrest, but the alien arrested shall be taken without unnecessary delay for an examination before an officer of the service having authority to examine alien. In other words, they can arrest them anytime, any place without warrant. Period. I mean, I don't know where these people are coming off. Oh, yeah, the ICE doesn't have the ability to arrest without a warrant. Want to bet? Yes, they do. If they suspect that you are an alien, you can be arrested without a warrant. They can pick you up. Again, and if you want to fight these things in Title 8, U.S. Code 1357. Powers of immigration officers and employees. It's right here. Right here. Folks, this is enforcement of immigration law. That's what this is. And these the I'm going to call it the balls on Bass and Newsom for standing up and saying, "Hey, we're not going to enforce that law." Yeah. Try that. Go ahead. They're already doing it. Speaking of which, by the way, Newsom and his AG have already, they have claimed that they're going to sue the federal government for the the implementation of the National Guard. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The National Guard. You mean the National Guard that has a right and a law to be there? I mean, first of all, let's take into account the ICE raids happen on Friday. Thursday and Friday, I should say. Saturday, they end up where they have a massive amount of people outside of the Federal Detention Center in L.A. And by federal detention, I mean the one that is used for illegal immigrants. Okay? Now, they're in the illegal immigrant detention center on federal government property. Okay? Federal government property. The police, the LA police, who the mayor is in charge, the mayor says, you know what? Forget it. I'm not gonna support you guys. Pretty much leaves the ICE folks all by themselves. And so what happens? Trump says, all right, that's it. I'm done. I can't support, or I can't, sit here and allow my officers, my immigration officers, to be bombarded like this. I'm sending in the National Guard. Well, guess what? Fully within his legal right to do so. Title 10, U.S. Code 12406, which was mentioned in the actual executive order that Trump put out to send the National Guard troops in, 2,000 to be exact, right here, whenever. And item number 2, here we go. There is a rebellion or danger of rebellion against the authority of the government of the United States. Wow. So guess what, Gavin Newsom, or Newscum, as some of us like to call him? Guess what? You can try and sue the federal government for enacting the National Guard, because he was under the impression that the National Guard, was under his command and control. Well, there's certain situations, by the way, especially when dealing with trying to protect federal government buildings and property, where the National Guard can be mobilized without the governor's approval. This would be one of them. There is a rebellion or danger of a rebellion. Yeah. Like the rebellion of thousands of people trying to break into the ICE detention center. Yeah, that's a rebellion. That's not an insurrection based on the law, but it's pretty damn close. Yeah, okay. I will love to see this go all the way to the Supreme Court. And by the way, too, I took a look in history, and people are like, hey, yeah, this has never been done before. I mean, this has never been done before. Really? And especially with the idea, by the way, there's 500 Marines from Fort Pendleton that have been called up and are actually on their way. Now, those Marines, honestly, the way that this would actually work is like it's supposed to, if it works like it's supposed to. The National Guard would support the police, and the Marines will support the National Guard. Not quite sure how that's going to work out. But everybody's sitting there talking about, the Marines, they're going, he's calling up the Marines. This has never been done before. Really? Never been done before, huh? How about back when Eisenhower sent federal troops to Little Rock, Arkansas, because the governor of Arkansas failed to integrate the Central High School? Yeah. Okay. How about during the Rodney King riots? Yeah. Okay. There are several other riots that have happened. Those are just the two right off the top of my head. Boy, I'm like ahead of my chat for once. Normally they're correcting me, but I'm hitting all the points before they go. Yes, they did. So, yeah, I mean, this is nothing new, folks. It has been done before. It also has been run through the courts before. So where Newsom gets this idea that, I'm going to sue the federal government for calling up National Guard troops to do. Yeah, guess what? Guess what? Yeah, this is it. Now, normally I would say the Posse Comitatus Act and the Insurrection Act prevent the use of, regular army forces. This is why the National Guard was created. They would have problems going up against American citizens. But there's a problem with that. These people aren't American citizens, at least not all of them. Some of them are. But yes, it has been done in the past. It has been proven in the courts to be lawful. I showed you the law that it says. Okay? I showed you the law. It's right there. And you have morons like Cory Booker who's standing up in front of people and saying, not Cory Booker, my bad. But they kind of look the same in terms of when they're looking at, when you just look at them. Hakeem Jeffries is like, President Trump, all he's doing is adding fuel to the flames. No, he's actually enforcing law. Hakeem Jeffries is the extreme MAGA Republicans say they are on the side of law and order. They have zero. Really? Zero? Yeah, I just showed you 2 laws, folks. 2 laws that are specific to what is going on in terms of what's happening down in Los Angeles. Just freaking you people, the audacity of these morons. I'm trying to be nice here. I mean, not nice for them because they're not. They're complete, stupid, utter morons, just idiots. And they're sitting there and they're sitting here talking about all of this. Anyway, all right. So, all of that being said, there's also the threat of arresting Gavin Newsom and possibly even Karen Bass. Trump said that hey, we can do that. Well, guess what? And Tom Homan, by the way. Oh, well, let me get to this in just a minute. So Tom Homan, by the way, was talking about how, yeah, we can arrest them, and if they give us the opportunity, if they break the law, we can arrest them. This is Tom Homan's favorite law. I'm telling you, favorite. Title 8, U.S. Code 1324, bringing in and harboring certain aliens. Right here, criminal penalties. Any person who, now listen, knowing that a person is an alien, brings in or attempts to bring in to the United States in any manner whatsoever, so on and so forth. Now, item number 2, knowing or in reckless disregard to the fact that an alien has come to, entered, or remains in the United States in violation of law. Oh. And by the way, governors don't have imperviousness to, they don't have immunity. They don't have immunity from arrest. Congressmen don't have immunity from arrest. These people are so freaking stupid. It hasn't been done in so long. This is part of the reason why. But I showed you in, I think it's Article 1, Section 9. Let me see. I'm going to try and pull up, I think it's 9. Title. Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's earlier than that. Anyway, there is a provision in the Constitution. I'll have to find it again. That one I wasn't really prepared for, but there is a provision in the Constitution that basically states that a congressperson or a member of Congress has immunity from arrest when they are traveling to and from Congress and when they are on Congress's, on Congress grounds doing the business of Congress. Constitution doesn't say that any other time outside of that they can't be arrested. They can be. They absolutely can be. And this is the thing that these morons seem to forget. That's why those representatives were arrested outside of that New Jersey ICE detention facility. Because it also states that they lose their immunity claims or their immunity from arrest if they breach the peace. What do you think Maxine Waters was doing by going down there and confronting the National Guard troops? That's called a breach of peace. So even if they had any kind of immunity, which they didn't, but if they had any kind of immunity, they would not be immune anymore because they breached the peace. All of this advocation for rioting in the streets, for getting in the faces of people, so on and so forth, all of that, yeah, that's all a breach of peace. All of it is a breach of peace. Speaking of that, and I'm only pulling back so I can find it again. Speaking of that, there's this little known law. Now, anybody that gets in the way, by the way, anybody that gets in the way of these people doing their jobs, guess what? There's a U.S. code against that. Title 18 U.S. Code, Section 111. Assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers or employees. Yeah, so let's take a look. Whomever forcibly assaults, resists, opposes, impedes, intimidates, or interferes with any person designated under Section 1114 of this title, I'll get to that in just a second, while engaged on or while engaged in or on account of the performance of official duties. Okay? Shall, where acts in violation of this section constitute only simple assault, be fined under this title or imprisoned for not more than 1 year or both. Now, if they forcibly assault or intimidate any person who formerly served as a person designated in Section 11114, which I'll get to, on the account of performance of official duties during such person's term of service, and also, by the way, actually physically assaults them, all right? You will gain, where such acts involve physical contacts with the victim of that assault or intent to commit another felony, be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 8 years or both. So guess what? Every single one of those morons who were standing in front of the ICE agents attempting to do their jobs and were sitting there, and especially the ones that actually physically attacked the ICE agents, yeah, they're in violation of 18 U.S. Code Section 111. Now, the 1114 part is right here. This one is 18 U.S. Code Section 1114, which talks about the protection of officers and employees of the United States. Now, this takes it to a big extreme. It says, whoever kills or attempts to kill any officer or employee of the United States or of any agency in any branch of the United States government, including any member of the uniformed services, while such officer or employee is engaged in or on account of the performance of official duties, or any such person assisting such an officer or employee in the performance of such duties, or on account of that assistance, shall be punished. A lot. Let's just put it that way. They list case of murder, case of manslaughter, case of attempted murder or manslaughter. So all of you jackasses who are running around like this one total idiot. Oh my gosh. He apparently, now there's a clip running around on social media. Okay? And they're showing it, the left is showing it as though, hey, look, the Gestapo is here, because it happens to be LAPD police officers on horseback that appear to be attempting to apprehend an individual. Now, this individual reportedly, before the clip is selectively edited, okay, attempted to throw gasoline and start the horses and the officers there on fire. Now, I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that's the report. That's what people are saying, that it was happening right before it. And so I'm basically telling you right now, folks, that to me, that would be an attempted manslaughter. And that jackass, really, that asshole, should be taken into custody. And once he's taken into custody, should be just throw the book at him. Throw the book completely at him. Now, one of the biggest problems that we have here is that, of course, Karen Bass and freaking Gavin Newsom are sitting here spouting off, oh, they can't do this. They can't do this. I just listed off three or four things that federal laws, and I'm not even a lawyer. That was just a simple search under the Cornell Law School. Okay? This is just this is ridiculous. This is totally ridiculous. This is the law enforcement officers of this land are supposed to be enforcing the law as it is written. These people need to get deported. They are not supposed to be here. And by the way, there is a long list of things, and I showed it to you the other night, but there is a long list of things that they can be deported for just about anything. People. If you're in a situation like this where you want to protest, you need to peaceably protest. Peaceably assemble is a constitutional right. But the minute that you start damaging property, the minute that you start endangering others, the minute that you start doing, I'm sorry, but it's time to throw off the gloves and it's time to go ahead and that's it. I mean, these people are so freaking stupid. All they care about is destruction and anarchy and stuff like that, because one of the cars that they put on fire was a freaking autonomous taxi. It wasn't even, the car wasn't even like, I mean, it's a goddamn robot. What the hell are you burning up a robot for? And then, of course, let's not even mention the fact that they're standing on these cars and they're swinging around these freaking Mexican flags. What the hell are you doing in America if you want to be part of Mexico? If you want to live in Mexico? If you sit there and think, Viva la Mexico, you know? This is totally and utterly ridiculous. And yes, they did attack cop cars. They did. I don't know if they burned any, but they did attack cop cars and so on and so forth. Now, this is going on 3 days worth of this. 3 days worth of this shit. And it's time to end it. It is totally time to end it. And if the Marines, if they go in there and they do it, great. It's their time. They need to end this shit quick. These people need to get punished for what they've done. The LA cops have been told to stand down, or had been. I don't know if they're not doing it now, but they had been told to stand down. I mean, these folks, they're protesting. They go and thanks, Nana, for the reminder on the 101. So they get pushed back from the federal building. So they go running onto the 101 and they start throwing rocks at cars. They start throwing rocks at innocent civilians, people. This is literally, I mean, if you would really want to compare this, I got to get to that. If you really want to compare this to January 6th, this is literally an insurrection. Literally. This is a foreign force, and yes, it's just a ragtag bunch of people, but it's a foreign force who have come here onto our soil and are now causing chaos, mayhem, and literally putting the lives of our officers and federal agents and now the National Guard, our military forces, in danger. There is nothing more legal than what Trump is doing right now. Nothing more legal than what Trump is doing right now. So, I have absolutely I got no reservations. Those guys, yeah, they need to go away. They just need to go away. They need to get taken out, arrested. I'm at the point now where I don't even think that really matters, to be honest with you. It's time for this stuff to just finish. And Governor Newsom is just sitting on his hands and allowing it to happen. He sent out a bunch of tweets today like, don't get violent. That's playing right into the hands of the extremists. Really? It is. When all you said was, yeah, I'm not going to participate in ICE for months prior to even Trump getting elected, when Trump was running on the idea of enforcing immigration laws and taking care of these people, that greaseball hairbag was standing in front of people and saying, no, I'm not going to enforce that. I'm not going to let them do that. Yeah. Folks, it's time. I'm not calling for it. I hate violence. I abhor violence, but it's time for our government to take off the gloves. We can't sit here and allow these people to continue to do this unchecked. They have got to be put in their place. End of story. I mean, look, here's an image. Oh, yeah. Here's a great image. Take a look at this. Whoever this fucker is, and yes, I am using that term. Sorry. Earmuffs. He's waving a freaking Palestinian flag. What the hell does that have to do with immigration? What the hell does that have to do with all of this? The Palestinians aren't even a nation. Yeah. Yeah. This is ridiculous. So, contrary to what Newsom keeps trying to put out, that, these are mostly peaceful protests. Yeah, LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell admitted in the wake of the first night of rioting that the violence was getting increasingly worse and that, quote, police are overwhelmed as far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity. Yeah. Yep. I'm sorry, but it's well over time here, folks. And by the way, McDonnell added, when he initially indicated that he does not want to cooperate with the federal government, but he also says there's no limit to what they're doing to our officers. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Trump said in a statement, a once great American city, Los Angeles, has been invaded and occupied by illegal aliens and criminals. Now violent insurrectionist mobs are swarming and attacking our federal agents to try and stop our deportation operations. But these lawless riots only strengthen our resolve. Okay, I'm going to point back out. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, yeah, U.S. 18, U.S. Code, Section 111. There's the law that they are breaking when they are trying to stop ICE agents from doing their jobs. Right here. Folks, these people are not law-abiding citizens. These are not law-abiding people. They are there to do one thing and one thing only, cause chaos and destruction. They need to be put down fast. They need to be put down hard. This is totally asinine. Yeah. So California, the California AG, and I got to find this. Oh, here's the other thing too. By the way, the California people are all blaming Trump for all of this. Really? They're Trump didn't show up until Sunday after the riots had started. He didn't deploy the National Guard until Sunday. The riots were already happening on Saturday. And you know what? But Gavin Newsom's press account on X goes, well, you know, if Trump hadn't done that, he escalated everything. No, he didn't. He didn't escalate. He didn't escalate. All he did was send in the National Guard to do the job that the LAPD and Gavin Newsom sending in the National Guard instead was freaking this is as much of a failure as the freaking LA fires. Both Bass and Newsom, this lays at their feet. And you know what? Some social mediaite, moron, let's just face it, came in and goes, yeah, just think, Trump sends in the federal troops. That means Newsom is going to be president. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. But, maybe. But I don't think so. This is completely asinine. Totally asinine, and I am so freaking tired of this. So tired of these especially the Democrat morons on X and Facebook and everything else that sit there and say, oh, no, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't. I showed you the proof. I showed you the receipts. In fact, Barb over on Facebook engaged with one of these idiots. Over the weekend, there was one in particular. I'm not going to name his account name, but it's not that hard to figure out. Anyway, he sat there and kept saying that he engaged me with truth and that I was lying and all of these things. All I told him was, look, I'm not going to engage with you necessarily on this platform. Go and watch my thank you, Nana. Nana's on it. She jumped right on there. So the riots started Friday evening, kept going until Saturday. Trump sent in the National Guard at 4 a.m. on Sunday. So there you go. Anyway, this jackass decides to sit there and make all these innuendos that I've been lying. And I simply just told him a long time ago, I'm like, hey, if you really want to know what I'm saying, whether or not it's true or not, I bring the receipts every single night. I bring it on every single night. There is nothing on this program that is not followed up with some sort of a link to where the information came from. Okay? Straight up. I mean, you guys call me out all the time when I error on things. It's not like I am sitting here saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not, but I can tell you that everything that I put in to this show has some sort of a backup. Receipts. They come every single time. And in fact, this jackass said that Nancy Pelosi wasn't in charge of on January 6th. Yeah, she was. And what's even worse, there's articles out. There's articles out that even state that things were messed up. So hold on just a second. You might hear something here, because I sent this to myself, but I didn't. I sent this to myself, but I didn't put it in the show notes for whatever reason. But here it is. Ugh. Oh my gosh, I am so done with these people. I am completely freaking done with these people. Here, So let me show you this. So this is in the Washington Times, okay? And they actually got it from the Federalist. It says so. The article is a little more than a year old, all right? But right here, January 6th committee kept a lid on testimony that Trump pushed for extra troops at the Capitol. Hey, all you freaking dumbass leftist lunatic morons, listen to what I am about to tell you, because this is the truth. Right here. Newly revealed interviews transcripts show the former White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Anthony Ornato, told the now defunct Select Committee that Mr. Trump wanted to send 10,000 National Guard troops to protect the nation's capital on January 6th of 2021. Oh, but I thought that he didn't. Yeah, right. Right. Here's the thing. The lawmakers who led the committee did not respond to requests or comment from the Times about it. Yeah. Now, here's a crucial witness. Mr. Oronato's crucial witness testimony from the American people. They held it. They withheld it because it contradicted their predetermined narrative. This was a statement by Representative Barry Loudermilk, the Georgia Republican who chairs the Oversight Committee. Mr. Oronato's testimony proves what Mr. Meadows has said all along. President Trump did, in fact, offer 10,000 National Guard troops to secure the U.S. Capitol, which was turned down. Okay? So you're sitting there, and these jackass morons, this is the other thing, these jackass morons are sitting here and they're saying, oh yeah, January 6th, Trump can send in the National Guard down in L.A., but he couldn't do it on January 6th. Yeah, there's a reason why. Trump is in charge of federal property outside of D.C. So, let me see if I can find it really quick here. So, oh yeah, right here. Right here. Article 1, Section 8. Here's Section 8. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get over. Sorry. Here it is, folks. There it is. Section 8. Article 1. Section 8. U.S. Constitution. See? This is it. The Constitution of the United States. Right here. Article 1. Section 8. Next page. Right here. Underneath my finger. Right there. It says that Congress shall exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square as may by cession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress become the seat of government of the United States, and to exercise, here it is, like authority over all places purchased by consent of the legislature. So Congress has control over all of this stuff, and they hand it over to the president. Congress has control of D.C. Congress said no, meaning Pelosi said no. Muriel Bowser, she said no. She only took less than 400 National Guard troops on January 6th to perform traffic control. There is a letter. It has been publicized. It is out there. She has the letter. She says, we don't need the help. Folks, I can lead the horse to the frickin' water, but I can't make you asses drink it. And yes, I'm talking about you leftist morons that are out there. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just, oh, by the way, according to the transcript that was sent, and going back to this Washington Times article, according to the transcript that was sent, a January 6th committee staffer asked Mr. Oronato, when it comes to the National Guard statement of having 10,000 troops or any other number of troops? Do you recall any discussion prior to January 6th about whether and how many National Guard troops to deploy on January 6th? Mr. Oronato said he remembers a conversation between White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. He was on the phone with Muriel Bowser, and he wanted to make sure she had everything she needed, he said. I remember the number 10,000 coming up, you know? The president wants to make sure you have enough. You know, he is willing to ask for 10,000. The proof is right there. The proof is right freaking there, folks. It's in the transcripts. This is an official document recording. Can't believe how stupid these people are. And yet they have the audacity to like come and attack my page and say that I'm in the wrong, that I'm the one who's stupid. No, I'm not. I back it up with receipts. They also talked about once the Capitol was breached, the Trump White House pushed for immediate help from Acting Secretary of Defense Christopher Miller and grew frustrated at the slow deployment of that help, according to the testimony. Mr. Oronato said, so then I remember the chief saying, hey, I'm calling the Secretary of Defense to get that quick reaction force in here. Later, he said, I remember the chief telling Miller, get them in here, get them here to secure the Capitol now. The House administration oversight. So in other words, there was a huge comedy of errors that honestly, if Pelosi and Bauer had originally taken those 10,000 troops in the beginning, none of it would have happened. Absolutely none of January 6th would have happened. I can almost certainly guarantee you for that. This is such a ridiculous argument to sit here and try to conflate the two. To conflate these two. Trump didn't have control of the Capitol. He couldn't deploy in D.C. with the troops. He couldn't deploy them. And when he did, there were people who were standing in the way trying to stop him from doing it. Morons. That's all they are, is morons. That's it. Okay. So I've done all of this. I really do need to I kind of want to get a little bit of something out of this. So I've been ranting for almost an hour. All right, still haven't tried 1775 coffee. Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only a small amount of numbers are available. You're getting the dark roast, the bold dark roast, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality Mushroom Coffee. The Vitality Mushroom Coffee gives you clean energy and a laser focus with no crash. All of them are single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip. This, I think, is just the greatest thing in there because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions. And you'll also get a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for just $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble and are wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. Go to 1775 Coffee, that's 1775coffee.com / that's question mark key, studio, STUDIO, and grab your starter kit before they're gone. 1775coffee.com / studio. You'll get boiled beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe. Go to 1775coffee.com / studio and grab your starter kit before they are gone. All right. Ugh, these people just driving me nuts. Okay, well, here's a couple other things just really quick in the last few minutes before we close out. Elon went on X and posted something that I think was really, I mean, I'll be honest, for a multi-billionaire or who is normally supposed to be a smart man, that was very stupid of him to do this. But he went ahead and posted on X that Donald Trump was part of the Epstein files. Well, that fueled the leftist lunatic morons all over the place about it. Well, here's the thing. 2 key people have come out who honestly should have the knowledge of whether or not Trump is actually on the Epstein list. Okay? One of them happens to be Epstein's former lawyer, who emphatically, once the X post came out, emphatically said, yeah, there's nothing to this. There really isn't. There's nothing to this. He's not part of the Epstein files. You want to know who the other one is? The other one is none other than Michael Cohen, who absolutely hates Trump, has been on an anti-Trump tirade ever since he got arrested. And he also says, yeah, nope, there's nothing there. I would have known about it. There's nothing there. And again, folks, I'm just going to throw in this little piece of information. Had the Democrats had him on the Epstein list when they've had 4 years of being in power and not one single peep of releasing the Epstein list or even a page from it mentioning Trump, yeah, you know it's not there. And I don't give a crap. All you freaking morons running around on social media posting all of these public pictures that have been, yes, we know Donald Trump ran in the same circles as Epstein. We know that Donald Trump hung out with Epstein before he found out what he was doing. But it's also a matter of public record that the minute that he found out about what was going on, he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. He was also the only corroborating witness for the prosecution in the first Epstein trial in Florida. That is a matter of public record. He volunteered to help them. And he went in and gave a deposition of his own accord. So don't sit here and tell me that Donald Trump and Epstein were like this really tight, close buddies and that Epstein had some sort of a hidden file on him. And the bullshit that you're trying to tell me of how Donald Trump, raped this 13-year-old girl, that case was debunked long time ago. It was created. Even the press couldn't find enough corroborating evidence to say that that was definitely the issue. The person who was mostly pushing it was a freaking reality TV producer from like Jerry Springer or some shit. Don't sit here and tell me this. This is just, you're barking up the wrong damn tree. And it's not that I'm trying to defend the man necessarily, but I'm defending the injustice of the fact that you sycophant leftist morons still want to believe in this totally debunked and totally, jeez. It's no different than the suckers and losers hoax. Anyway. All right, last one before I take off, and I'll get off my soapbox. Anyway, so Donald Trump was climbing the stairs to Air Force One, and he tripped. And what do these leftist morons do? They immediately glom onto it and they say, see, that proves he is not good. I mean, look at what happened to Biden. Well, thankfully, Dustin Capers has given us a side-by-side video of Donald Trump on the top and Joe Biden on the bottom in the same sort of instance. Let's take a watch. It's a few seconds long. Oh, Donald Trump trips, recovers himself, continues walking. What happens to Biden? Trips once, twice, falls over to his knees, can't get back up, has a hard time getting back up. Yeah, those two are, they're so alike. They're so, sure. Sorry, but no. You jackasses. There is no comparison between the two. No comparison whatsoever. Just like there's no comparison between January 6th and what's happening down in LA. There's no comparison. January 6th was actually a mostly peaceful protest. LA is not. Oh, and of course, thank you. I forgot. Bonnie reminded me that Biden had to go and walk the short steps after this. Doubt Donald Trump's going to have to. Yeah. Freaking morons. So done with you. You want the proof? It's right there. You want to learn it? Go ahead. So, anyway. Yeah. All right, folks, that is it for me for this evening. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com, get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are signed up and signed in, search up the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified every time I go live. Also, too, don't forget to give me a thumbs up or, well, if you want to, thumbs down across all of my platforms, whether it is X, YouTube, Facebook, and, of course, the aforementioned Rumble. We will see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Hopefully I'll have cooled off by then. Anyway, have a great rest of your evening and good night, everybody.